If you're watching this video, you're probably the third co-founder that's holding two other founders together. And you think you are protecting the company, keeping the peace, and helping move the company forward. But the truth is, you are quietly eroding the backbone of this business. In this video, I'm going to explain why the mediator third co-founder is often the first person to leave a troubled startup, and some of the exact behaviors that you're doing every single day that is keeping this conflict from resolving and getting better. As a co-founder conflict coach, I have seen this pattern show up so many times with the clients that I see, but it doesn't mean it's okay. I know this is a struggle, but in this video, we're gonna figure out how to get out of this and avoid the mediator trap. So what does it mean to be the mediator? Well, let me know if this sounds familiar. You are constantly drafting and redrafting messages in Slack to make sure that it lands well. You're getting off of meetings and then getting messages or getting on separate Zoom calls with each of your co-founders where they vent to you and complain about what's going on, or you just have to hear about their latest tiff, their latest conflict, or you're the one in team meetings trying to smooth over the two of them who are about to blow up at each other. You find yourself carrying messages from one person to the other, and you secretly take a deep sigh of relief when one of them is traveling, because it just means that there's going to be less conflict and there's going to be less work for you to do. If any of that sounds familiar, then you are in the trap. You're not crazy, you're not weak, and you're not making this up. And it's important to know that this is not just a personality thing. It's called triangulation. A psychologist named Murray Bowen identified this pattern in families years ago. And startups are basically families, and the startup is your kid and the founders are its parents. Bowen found that when there are two people in conflict, when it gets intense enough or problematic enough, they're gonna pull a third person in. It redirects the energy, it shifts the conflict in a way that is tolerable, is manageable, and in the short term, stabilizes things. The third person maybe thinks that they accepted this role, but they were actually recruited to do this. That's where you are. It's not because you are especially reasonable, although you probably are. It's because you were available, and there's a difference. And here's what nobody tells you. You are paying a hidden cost here because each of your co-founders only has one relationship to manage between themselves and you. You have two relationships to manage, one between each of them, plus the dynamic between the two of them. You're doing 3 times the emotional labor and only getting credit for one. All that conflict, that friction, that tension that you're mediating, it doesn't just go away, it gets stored in you. And that is a toll that grows by the day. I've noticed that often the mediating co-founder is the one that burns out the soonest and ends up in a situation where they want to leave the company. Sometimes the two other co-founders who are fighting are the ones who decide that you're the problem and are finally in agreement about something that it's your fault. And that's a direction that none of us want to go down. So what is going on when you're in the mediator trap? Well, there are 3 specific functions that you play as the mediator. You absorb the two other co-founders venting to you, complaining to you, telling you what they want, and you listening and hearing it and tacitly saying, I'm going to try my best to try to make that happen. You translate by going back and forth between each founder, trying to help the other person understand the first person's perspective, and ultimately having to switch sides all the time to try to show that you understand what they're going through, but you also want them to understand what the other co-founder says to do, whether it has to do with the product direction or who you want to hire next or what should be done about growth. You're the one who is helping to be the decision maker. It often comes down to a situation where one founder wants one direction, the other founder wants the other, and it's up to you to be a tie splitter. And that is a tough and precarious role, and you may be biting your tongue and avoiding bringing things up. Sometimes you disagree with both of them and you want to go in a third direction, but then you have to go and fight another battle to convince both of them to go with you. It's often just easier to pick one of the sides, resolve the decision, and you move on. So whether it's absorbing, translating, or tie breaking, each one of these roles, each one of these functions feels like leadership, but it's actually preventing the company from building the muscle to deal with conflict productively. Absorbing fails because the co-founders don't actually resolve their feelings. All these feelings that they have get processed with you rather than with the other person. So the relationship doesn't actually get better, it just kind of goes quiet. Meanwhile, translating doesn't work because communication is a skill, and it's a skill that is a give and take. And these two co-founders, again, aren't learning each other's styles. They aren't learning how to speak in a way to be heard and how to receive information so they show that they're listening. Instead, they just use you as the crutch to kind of fix it all and make it all happen. And finally, tie breaking doesn't work because you become the bottleneck for any decision. You can't go on a break. You can't leave the company. You're trapped because without you, there's going to be gridlock. All right, so I know what you're thinking. If mediating is a trap, then what's the alternative? You can't just not deal with the conflict, right? This is what you do. Instead of thinking of yourself as a mediator, think of yourself as a host. You're not here to prevent conflict. You are here to hold the space for them to resolve the conflict. A mediator is a go-between, an emissary, a negotiator. A host brings two people into the room and has them hash it out with you there as a witness, as a trusted third party who makes sure that everything stays civil and reminds them of the stakes. Basically, instead of being a bridge, you're the room. So there are 3 steps here. One is you gotta stop translating for the other person. You gotta start saying when somebody vents to you and says, this is what we should be doing, or this is why I'm so frustrated by this person, you gotta say, yeah, I hear you, and I think it's important for you to bring that to the CEO directly. It's gonna feel uncomfortable at first. You are breaking a pattern that they've gotten used to. But if you keep doing that, if you keep saying, I'm not going to save you, I'm not gonna rescue you from this conflict, I need you to communicate directly with the other person, things are going to start to change. The second thing you gotta do is to call out the pattern directly. You can say to your co-founders, look, I have been going between the two of you as a mediator for months now, and it's really taking a toll on me. I need it to stop, and I need us to be able to communicate directly with each other without having me be caught in the middle. Oftentimes, bad behavior becomes a lot less prominent when you just call it out, when you just say it for what it is. If someone's shouting at you and you just say something like, hey, is it necessary for you to shout in my face like that? They often take a step back. And so the hope is that your co-founders see what's going on, see the burden that's taking on you. They should want for your well-being and for you to not be exhausted by this. And the hope is this is a come to Jesus moment. And if they still keep fighting, you also have gained some information. You've learned that your 2 co-founders are so immature that even when their third co-founder tells them that this is really making life hard for them, they don't care and they aren't willing to change. Ask yourself if that's someone that you want to continue to work with long term. Finally, start having founder heart-to-hearts. I've made a separate video all about this weekly ritual, but the key thing is you need to be getting together on a regular basis, at least 30 minutes once a week, ideally not in a conference room, not in the middle of the office, but going for a walk, going to a third location, and just sharing what's going on with you as a person. What are the things that you're happy about or excited about? What do you appreciate about your co-founder? And what's stressing you out? What's a concern? What's something you want to watch out for? It is these shared moments where all of you, including both of them and you, are able to speak freely, where it's not about attacking the other person, it's not about problem solving, it's not even about making a decision, it's just about saying, can we share where each of us are at and gain some shared context, shared understanding, so that over the long run, we can improve our relationship, work more productively, and make better and faster decisions. It is not your job to smooth things over. It is not your job to fix it. This is a muscle that needs to be built by the company itself. When you break your ankle, you put a cast on it. But once that cast is taken off, your foot is incredibly weak. If you wear that cast for the rest of your life, your ankle will never gain the strength it needs to be able to walk again. Right now, you're being that cast. And it's time to get rid of that and to have everybody walk on their own 2 feet. I will warn you though, this is not easy. And I think you know that, but things may get a bit worse for a couple of weeks before they get better. And you just have to steel yourself for that, because nothing good comes easily, right? And so this is just another one of those things where you're going to have to bite the bullet for a while until the team can ultimately get to a better place. But the truth is, you might be the one keeping the company from growing up. Being a mediator isn't a character trait. It is a role, a position that you are currently playing, and you can stop playing it. By the way, something that is true about being a mediator is often you are dealing with co-founders that are not speaking very kindly to each other. And I have a whole video all about how we often treat our co-founders worse than we treat our customers. Maybe that's something you want to watch, or even send to your co-founders to start the conversation about what it means for the three of you to work better together. So go ahead and check out that video. And if you are in one of these situations and it's getting really toxic and you don't know what to do, you can always reach out to me. I handle co-founder conflict day in and day out, and I'll see what I can do to help. Until next time, have a good one.